It's been pretty intense out there, huh? Are you doing your best? I know you are. I know you are. And I wanted to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day when there is so much intensity out there, when it is so much easier to distract ourselves through whatever means of distraction that we use, you know, however we kind of distance ourselves from the intensity of our experience, how we kind of self-regulate. And because of that, because you are choosing to be here, you're choosing to be reflective, you're choosing to kind of seek a higher dimension in terms of perspective, I am really, 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 really grateful that you're here and that you took the time out. It really means a lot, and my intention is that this connects with whoever needs it whenever they need it, regardless of space-time. The nature of the experience has been so intense. Of course, you know, kind of the astro weather right now with all of the Mars Uranus action, and Mars moved into Scorpio today, where he used to be the natural ruler until they discovered Pluto, and you know, it shifted. And there are some people who still read like Mars rules Pluto, and there are a lot of Plutonic aspects of Mars, and there are a lot of Martian aspects in Pluto, because Pluto is all about control and masculine when he's in overdrive, when he is not functioning as highly dimensional as he has the capability of being. It can be, you know, the needing to control can be hypermasculine, and the need to rationally explain can be hypermasculine. The thing about Mars moving into Scorpio, though, Scorpio isn't really about rationality. Scorpio is about intuition and secret languages and code and feelings and vibes and darkness and just really feeling with a different skill set. And so Mars, when he moves through here, you know, Mars, god of war, not necessarily all that thoughtful in terms of, there's a war term for it, but it's strategy. It's not specifically just a war term, but Mars is not the most strategic sign because he is impulsive, he is shiny, he, you know, will anything could potentially distract him given the sign that he's in. And so when he's in Scorpio, though, he's very detail driven, and he is not afraid to go in the dark, and it becomes more of a battle between how do I explore my shadow, how do I really get in there and root around without totally succumbing to that experience, right? Or seeking the old kind of shadowic ways of healing. What am I trying to not look at? What am I distracting myself from? And Uranus, as it moves through Taurus, is going to be all about your distractions. Can't be distracted from this. I'm Uranus and Taurus, bitch. Like, you're gonna fucking pay attention. I'm gonna get in your face. That's just the nature of the beast. And again, this really intense astrology is not going away. That this is kind of building up to a Pluto Saturn conjunction in January. So like more than a few weeks, but not very long from now, you know, where this thing has been hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped, because it is a very big deal, and it will be something that shakes all of us in different ways, and maybe even, you know, communally as a whole collective. But what is happening now is kind of the precursor to that, rising up for our conscious evaluation. These are sort of the before shocks, the pre-shocks. We don't have earthquakes where I'm from. We have tornadoes, but not earthquakes. So I'm not 100% on the correct earthquake terminology here. But these are the tremors. These are the tremors sort of that, where we're really getting to see clearly, if we're willing to look, what we need what we need to be the best versions of ourselves, right? And so if you are someone who is seeking personal embodiment, if you are someone who is watching these videos, if you are someone who is watching your thoughts, trying to heal your shadow, trying to integrate your shadow, we are really being offered gold level shit in terms of how do I need to prep for the whatever fresh hell is coming. And the fucked up, I mean, it's not fucked up, but the beautiful part of it is that it's fresh hell that every single one of us motherfuckers asked for, specifically came here for, to be like, fuck my shit up. That's the wild thing, right? And so when we get met with this intensity, when the entire earth moves to get our attention, zone in, bitch. Zone in. When days like this are so fucking intense, you can't see 3 inches in front of you, you know, or you are so up in your shit that you feel trapped, that you can't breathe, that it starts like even I'm talking about it and my toes have locked up. So let's loosen that out. In fact, let's all take a deep breath, because this is really heavy energy, and like even trying to talk about it right now is kind of like bringing me back into it a little bit. So very important to call in your medicine right now, whatever that medicine might be. Really helpful thing, one that I really like doing a lot, is like pumping up some 90s hits and just like fucking dancing in a mirror and just sending myself through that mirror all the fucking positive energy and just be like, yes, bitch. Yes, bitch. Yes, bitch. So whatever your yes, bitch dance in the mirror, like whether that's playing basketball, whatever your yes, bitch is, go do that. Like connect with that. If you've got a playlist that just like, no matter where you are in terms of like vibration for a day, that anytime you listen to it, you just pop right back up, go do that. Because again, these tremors are coming forward, so we know how to handle them, because we're gonna need to know how to handle it, because we are going in. This is like, what's the fucking, not River Runs Through It, this is the Meryl Streep one, where she has to like, she does the gauntlet, whitewater rafting. Anyway, we're all Meryl Streep right now. And so, like, I guess if you're following the plot of whatever the name of that movie is, like, we're at the point where we've just been kidnapped by John C. Reilly and friends. And our mom / us, Meryl Streep, is gonna be forced to go down the fucking hardest river to do by herself with her kidnappers and her son and her husband, I think. Or the husband, like, is shot, but he's okay, and he goes and, I don't know. Anyway, we're a river. Is that A River Runs Through It? No, that's Brad Pitt. I don't know. There were too many river movies in the 90s. I can't keep them straight. But we are in terms of like our own personal gauntlet, what I'm talking about is being like, okay, I know in order to be the best me, here's what I have to do. I know in order to survive a day where I am going to be triggered every single moment, and triggering, I think it's important to remember, is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because it's all about the energy that you meet it with. It is an opportunity to explore something, right? And I think it's important to point out too that opportunity to explore something is different for every single human being. And so whatever exploration in that moment looks like for you, whether it's just like, okay, like paying attention and then talking to a therapist because you really need to talk to a therapist, do that. If it's just something that you can kind of breathe through in the moment and kind of mentally not talk yourself, but just talk to yourself, kind of check in and like really figure out what that wounded child who is just like rearing up right now, really what they need in that moment. So however healing is important to you, however, whatever you need to do kind of in that moment, and be sure to give yourself space to have the authentic experience, right? And what I mean by authentic experience is to not be like shaming yourself while you're in the middle of just having this really intense human moment. Really intense human moment. Okay, so the intensity that is stepping forward, it's all human 3D world based, right? Because if we were in if the shared matrix that we live in, and I'm talking shared matrix in terms of late stage capitalism, if that shared matrix were higher aligned, which is kind of what this 2020 Saturn Pluto conjunction is about a little bit, if that way of life was more highly aligned sort of with the values that were reflective of our own world in terms of like taking care of our earth, like not putting profit over people, just sort of Miss America things, but not Miss America things, very real, very valid things that we are all here to shift. Ending systemic racism, abolish the prison industrial complex, abolish the war industrial complex, free up some money for some fun shit, for some shit that does all of us a lot of good. Neither here nor there in terms of navigating this energy now. I'm going to go back and watch this because I don't feel necessarily right now like super, yes, this makes sense. I have done a good job of bringing this information forward. And that's okay. We'll get better at this, or we'll get better at this. That's because that is the human experience, right? But it's the human experience that we're here to fully immerse ourselves in, right? Because if we were meant to have any other experience than human, we would fucking be elsewhere. We would be in another galaxy. We would be in another universe. We would be in another dimension having that experience. But your bitch ass soul, my bitch ass soul, my beautiful bitch ass soul, wanted to come here and have a human fucking experience. So here I am. And if we are escaping from that human experience or seeking to escape from that human experience, this Uranus in Taurus is gonna come out and grab your motherfucking attention, because you're here to be a human. You're here to be messy. You're here to fuck up. You're here to really fuck up. You're here to learn everything that there is to know about this world down here and figure out why you're here, because that's something that only you can answer. And so when the intensity is here, it is the best time to figure out why you're here, because why you're unhappy will never be more clear. What is not working will never be more clear than it is right now, moving forward, all until the end of 2020, and not even then. Like, shit really doesn't slow down until like circa 2024, and then maybe if you really want to move forward, 2032. Like, this is it, folks. And the thing is, we signed up for it, so you are capable of handling it. So go ahead and breathe that capability in right now and remind yourself that you're a badass motherfucking warrior who traveled fucking dimensions and universes to get to fucking Earth right now. And there, you know what? There was a motherfucking wait list to get here, and bitch, you got to bring your friends, right? This is like velvet rope service. Like, roll up, no need to RSVP, bitch. Like, come on through. You are the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. And you are capable of doing it because you wanted to, and you love the earth, because what is happening, we are essentially dimension jumping right now. And what I mean by dimension jumping is that we are all collectively getting on the same page in terms of shared value systems, in terms of understanding, oh fuck, this world is a hell of a lot more magical than we thought it was. Bitch, how many of your friends read tarot right now, huh? How many are getting into astrology? You're probably getting into astrology. We are all collectively, I mean, fuck, you're here. I'm getting into astrology. That we on a communal level, we on a global level, we on a collective level are understanding that this world is vastly more complicated and beautiful and heartbreaking and fucked up than we've been led to believe. And we are, as we all kind of come to our individual aha moments, our vibration raises, the entire vibration raises, and when I say we will manifest, if you hear people talking about manifesting a new earth, that is just all of, well, I'm not even gonna say that's just, because that's limiting. It is what resonates with me is that in terms of manifesting a new earth, that is when we have hit kind of mass collective vibratory space, that we are all in agreement that here are our shared values, right? Every human needs a roof over their head. Every human needs food in their tummy. Every human needs clothes on their back. You know, we need to take care of all of our entire environment. We need to take care of this planet. We need to figure out what works for everyone. We need to really bring equity into the 3D perspective that has never been there. Bring these higher level dimensional thinking, these higher level dimensional ways of thinking down into the physical. In a nutshell, if you're interested in learning more shit about this, I will put together a list at some point about where you should look. Dolores Cannon, particularly if you're interested in about what's happening between the jump from 3D to 5D in terms of the shared vibratory space on Earth. Dolores Cannon is a really great place to start. She is a hypnotherapist, kind of pioneered the field of hypnotherapy. It's a past life regressional therapist. She died a few years ago. She wrote a lot of books. I have some. They're right over there. But she would be a really, there's a ton of talks on YouTube, and then I will come up with a list of more. But suffice to say, even when it doesn't fucking feel like it, you were fucking kicking ass and taking names, especially in this space right now, because it's so fucking dense. We're literally the horse in Neverending Story. Artax, where he's like in the swamp of sadness, you know, and he's just like, fuck it. We are both simultaneously Atreyu and Artax. And so what's happening for us, we gotta let our Artaxes go, right? The shit that has gotten us this far, whether that is helpful or not helpful, we're gonna forget that Artax was a beautiful horse who probably never did anything wrong in his life for a moment, because again, we're here to be human, and we have certainly done shit wrong in our lives, right? So we are having to let die give back to the swamp of sadness our own sadness, our own shadow, the things that aren't serving us anymore, these old stories, the old ways that we moved through the physical horse, these physical worlds, this metaphysical dead horse, right? Stop beating the dead horse. Just let the swamp of sadness have it. Let the swamp of sadness have it. And the way you kind of do that is just, it's like Ho'oponopono in Hawaiian, but it is, thank you. Please forgive me. I love you. There's one other line, I forgot it, but that is sort of the attitude that we're being asked to meet literally everything with right now. In this intensity, which is the hardest part, being like, okay, well, there's a lesson in here. I'm gonna fucking dig till I find it, and guess what, bitch? Mars is moving through Scorpio. He wants to dig through your shit. And he likes it is the thing too. Mars in Scorpio is a freak. So, yes. So, we can have fun with this energy if we let it. And in the thing about that we think, almost the thing about being, I think about being human, and again, to have the human experience is to also figure out, okay, well, I've had the human experience. Here's what I really like about being human, you know? And then here's the shit that I'm not so wild about. And then how can I bring in more of the shit that I like and leave some of the shit that I'm not as wild about? That just got me started on a tangent that I forgot where I was going with the other thing. But Mars in Scorpio is going to help us kind of root through. And if we've been paying attention up into this point, we know kind of what we need, hopefully, in terms of making sure that we are keeping our physical selves, okay? That our minds are doing all right, that our spirit is doing all right, that our bodies are doing all right. Physical movement helps. This energy is dense, whether that's working out, whether that's dancing, whether that's walking, whether that is yoga, whether that is cleaning, whatever helps you move energy in physical space will help you move through this. This is the tendency is to just really sit there and fucking stew and play every single like narrative or story or fucked up thing, whatever you're kind of cycling on right now, just over and over and over and over and over until it overtakes you, right? And when it overtakes you, you're aware of it because you can feel it in your body. You stiffen up, you're not breathing. How many times do you check in with how many times a day do you check in with yourself and like, oh shit, I'm not fucking breathing right now? I do that all the time. And that's kind of the point, right? That the gift is, bitch, you haven't mastered this yet, so here's a fucking lesson, right? And realizing that, what the fuck, that's love. This is like tough love right now in terms of, all right, well, you're talking this talk, you're walking this, are you walking this walk? And I want to say that it's important. It's important. To remember that this isn't a test in the terms of like there are right or wrong answers, because that's part of the duality that we're here to kind of transcend and realize how all things can be true at once, because it's about how can I fuck up and still love myself? How can you fuck up and how can I still love you? How can I best hold this vibration of unconditional love for literally everything, but especially for myself, because unconditional love starts with ourselves and expands outward, right? And ultimately, that's what we're here to do. Just be unconditional love. The human experience is about unconditional love, our relationship to unconditional love.